Florissant Fossil Beds is a national monument located just over 100 miles southwest of Denver, Colorado. The site has records of fossil excavations as early as the 1870s and gained national monument status in 1969, 100 years after its discovery. The area is well known for petrified redwoods as well as plant and vertebrate fossils from the last 2,000 years of the Eocene, and provides us with a very detailed look at the life and geography of Colorado at that time. If you were to visit Florissant today, you would observe a grassy valley with crisscross walking trails and small streams. Look east across a tree-lined valley, and in the distance you would see Pikes Peak towering over 14,000 feet above sea level. Now, if you were to travel back in time 36 million years ago, you would witness a very different scene. During the late Eocene, Florissant was a stream valley that carried snowmelt and sediment away from the surrounding mountains. The valley was home to massive sequoias, some of which were over 500 years old, nearly 14 feet wide, and taller than the Statue of Liberty. 18 miles away from the valley sat Mount Guffey, a stratovolcano similar to Mount St. Helens in Washington state. Sometime around 36 million years ago, an explosive eruption sent a lahar rushing into the valley. A lahar is a superheated, high-speed mud flow made up of melted snow and ice, volcanic rock, ash, trees, and other debris. The trunks of the sequoias were buried by the lahar and subsequently petrified due to a combination of heat and minerals contained in the volcanic material. Since the tops of the trees were not covered by the lahar, they could not be preserved. That is why you will only see the petrified stumps of trees when you visit the area today. The same lahar that destroyed the trees also formed a natural dam that prevented the stream from flowing out of the valley, creating a lake that was over 12 miles long. The area soon recovered from the destruction, and a diverse ecosystem was formed in and around the lake. Some of the wildlife present at this time included various species of plants, insects, and vertebrates. The Florissant Formation contains many plants other than the giant sequoias, including trees, shrubs, and fruits. Fossils from elm, beech, pine, and maple trees, as well as ferns, legumes, cattails, and rose thorns have all been found in the area. The insects and arachnids present during the time of the Florissant were incredibly diverse and make up the majority of the 1,800 validated species in the formation. There are many incredibly well-preserved fossils of spiders, wasps, butterflies, beetles, cicadas, dragonflies, and grasshoppers. There were a few mammals present at this time, including three-toed horses, marsupials, and pig-like oreodonts, but the majority of vertebrate fossils found at Florissant are birds and fish. Some of the fish discovered at this site include bottom feeders like bowfins, suckers, and catfish, as well as predatory species like perch. The bird species of the Florissant are comprised of shorebirds like snipes and sandpipers, cuckoos, and rollers. For reasons unknown to scientists, there have never been any amphibian or reptile fossils recovered from the Florissant Formation. Sampling issues and poor water quality of the lake are both potential explanations of the lack of these specific vertebrates. During the time that all these species lived in the valley, Mount Guffey was still active. Layers of ash from the volcano would fall onto the area. The ash that sank to the bottom of the lake preserved all of the creatures that had died and sunk to the bottom. Many eruptions from Mount Guffey over time eventually filled the lake, and the valley transitioned back into a stream environment. The cycle of stream to lake and back to stream happened a total of 3 times before a debris flow tore through the valley and deposited a caprock conglomerate on top of the layers of ash and shale. A final layer of shale was deposited after the debris flow, followed by a layer of pumice conglomerate over 20 meters thick from Mount Guffey. The Florissant Formation is comprised of everything between the first layer of lake shale and this last layer of conglomerate. The entire formation is 70 meters thick and contains 9 distinct layers. Pikes Peak granite is a 104 billion-year-old granite cooled from magma deep underground and subsequently uplifted to form some of Colorado's tallest peaks. Wall Mountain Tuff is the result of an enormous pyroclastic flow that devastated the area approximately 3.7 million years ago. The Boulder Conglomerate makes up 2 conglomerates, one older than the Wall Mountain Tuff, or the Echo Park Alluvium, and the other, the younger, Tallahassee Creek Conglomerate. They occur in the vicinity of Florissant, Colorado. Basal sequence. Weathered granite debris that may have begun to fill the valley before the first lahar. Florissant Formation is divided into 6 informal units by lithology. The lower shale unit is paper shale alternating with tuffs and was deposited into a lake. The lake was formed when the valley was dammed by a lahar from the nearby Guffey volcanic complex. The lower mudstone unit was a floodplain sediments with stream deposits capped by a muddy lahar that buried large trees. Most of the fossil mammals found at Florissant came from this unit. The middle shale are couplets of diatoms and ash clay alternating with tuffs, deposited into a lake by a lahar, possibly at nearly the same time as the lahar that buried the trees. This middle shale is fossiliferous. The caprock conglomerate is a cement-like lahar debris flow that was deposited on top of the lake bed shales. The caprock acts as a natural protector of the fragile shale layers below it. The upper shale is paper shale interbedded with tuffs. It is also fossiliferous. The upper pumice conglomerate shows an increase in volcanic activity followed by deposition of the upper shale, with streams flowing from the west that wash large amounts of pumice pebbles into the basin. Sanidine samples were taken from various parts of the Florissant Formation, including the ash and pumice intervals in the shales, have been dated to be around 34.07 million years ago. This is the last sequence of rocks to be deposited at the Florissant Formation. Some of the fossils contained within the Florissant Formation are indicators of climate. For example, when spiders die in a cold climate, their legs tend to curl up into a ball. But in a warm climate, their legs will stay spread out even after they have died. The legs of the spiders found in the Florissant fossil beds are all spread out, indicating that the climate of the area 34 million years ago was warm rather than cold. The petrified sequoias also indicate a warm climate. Modern-day sequoias prefer areas that have mildly cool winters with lots of precipitation and very hot summers with almost no rain. We can therefore assume that the sequoias of the late Eocene more or less preferred the same type of climate. In conclusion, the Florissant Fossil Beds National Monument provides us with an incredibly detailed look into the past. Whether you are interested in ancient ecosystems, impacts of volcanism, paleoclimate, or paleogeography, the Florissant Formation is where you want to be.
Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh man, okay, alright, Oh yeah, you gotta get swifty. You gotta get swifty in here. It's time to get swifty. Uh-oh, you gotta get swifty. Oh yeah. Take off your pants and your panties. Shit on the floor. Time to get swifty in here. Gotta shit on the floor. I'm Mr. Bulldops. I'm Mr. Bulldops. Take a shit on the floor. Take off your panties and your pants. It's time to get swifty in here.
New song, Swifty, double X, Swifty song coming at ya. It's the Swifty.
Hey, take your pants off. It's Swifty time today.